Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different band, different artist, and we break down one of their records. We get into the music, the lyrics, our work, and how it was made, and everything in between. My name is Tyler. Way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. While you're listening, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars, tell all your friends, share all the posts. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button. And this week, we are finishing up hip-hop season because we're not going to do 2010s hip-hop. We're finishing up hip-hop. Well, do you think we are?
We're like 90% not going to do it. 10%, okay. You never know.
Fair. Yeah, fair. So this is likely the end of hip-hop season. So what are we doing this week, Jeff? What album are we doing as you take a big gulp of beer?
You fucking saw me put it in my mouth, the whole thing. What? And you said, ooh, let me ask Jeff a question. We're doing Marshall Mathers LP, Eminem's third record?
This is third record. People who pretend to think that his record Infinite isn't real. It was real. It was an actual record, but he was disappointed by it. So yes, Marshall Mathers is his third LP.
Yeah, so,
third record from the year 2000. Long record. We picked this one because we both really like this record, and it's one of the best records to come out of this era of this decade. And so that's why we did it this week. So let's get into our origin story with the Eminems, and then we'll get into Marshall Mathers LP. So what do you got? Origin story, go.
My origin story is with Eminem. With Eminem is the Celebrity Deathmatch CD that I bought.
Okay.
There was the song Mushroom. Never meant to give you mushrooms, girl. Never meant to bring you to my world. From his second album. You remember that song?
It sounds really familiar.
It was just a funny song, and like there's Privates on there, there's Marilyn Manson on there. I think that was also my introduction to Marilyn Manson too when we did the Manson episode.
I think so, yeah.
But I'll never forget like one of my favorite lines from Eminem, and it was on that song. And he's talking to his friend Dave, and Dave went to the bathroom. He's talking to his friend Dave in the bathroom, and Dave went to the bathroom. He went to the bathroom in the bathroom. The bathroom.
It's a lot of bathrooms.
But the song is about like a girl who takes mushrooms and like ODs, and so. Like you can hear M, he knocks on the door, like knock it out. He says, "Dave, pull up your pants. We need an ambulance." I was like, "Oh, that's cool. I like that." And that was like 1998 or 9 or where that came out, that CD. And 10-year-old me, 11-year-old me was like, "Oh, that's fucking genius. Those two things rhyme and it's funny and it's potty humor. Hell yeah!" It's like ever since then,
right
up until probably like Relapse, I followed his career. I liked Eminem. I liked all of his records.
All right, my origin story with the Eminems was my name is watching MTV when I was 11 or 11 or 12 when that video came out. Saw it pop up on TRL, and that was my introduction. Was that I didn't really like that song when it came out. I really liked Guilty Conscience when that video came out. I loved that video. But it wasn't until the Real Slim Shady, when that video and that song came out, that I was obsessed with that fucking song. But
hi kids, do you like violence?
And then remember the censored version was, "Hi kids, do you like Primus?" That was the censored version. Yeah,
Damn, that's almost better.
So that was my origin story with Eminem. But I never really liked that record or anything like that. I mean, now I like it; it's good. But back then, I just was not into hip hop. I was more into punk and metal, obviously straight up new metal at the time. New metal kid. So, there we go. So let's get into our initial thoughts on Marshall Mathers LP, and then we'll get into some of the songs. We'll talk about the era, and just like I said, everything in between. The movie 8 Mile, we got to talk about that. Should we start? No, let's start with our initial thoughts.
Always start with initial thoughts. That's what they're called, initial thoughts. They're not called fucking secondary thoughts after we talk.
It's not called 8 Mile thoughts. Yes,
it's not called 8 Mile thoughts. Right, so initial thoughts. I bought this when it came out, and all right. Well, here's what actually happened, dude. I stole this when it came out.
Okay, from where?
Do you know where I stole it from?
The warehouse.
I stole it from the warehouse, baby.
There we go.
Over in the what's that place called? The Village Center.
The Village Center, in Yorba Linda.
Yeah.
Yep.
The one that's
not there anymore.
Correct. I stole
Statute
this.
of limitations, baby.
Yeah, I stole this from Village Center. Man, that was like $25 for a CD.
It was expensive, yeah.
That's a lot of money for it cost them fucking nickels to make, right?
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude. $25 for a CD is wild in that era. But yeah, I stole it from the warehouse, and that was because Camp nobody really liked hip hop when I went to camp, except unless it was gangster rap, but that was about it. Otherwise, it was strictly punk and then like oldies and shit. So I was kind of on my own when it came to like the hip hop stuffs, except for like other kids in my elementary school and middle school. But again, it was all like gangster rap. Nobody I knew really liked Eminem, and like I get it. Like it's just the white rappers coming up in like the black hip hop scene. I get why the initial kind of like knee jerk reaction is to kind of like put some distance between the two. I get it, but yeah, when my when my dad found out that I had this record, oh baby, because he was a staunch Republican, and when the controversies just started to snowball and snowball, and all of a sudden because like everybody knows fucking the real Slim Shady, right? The Slim Shady song, like everybody fucking knows that song. Everybody knows that song, including him. And so when he knew or he realized that I had their CD, like yeah, that was something.
Did he break it like your Kid Rock CD?
No, that was the only one he ever broke. I think he just took it and threw it away. I don't remember what he did with it, but he took it. But the Kid Rock was the only one that he ever broke. That was
so funny.
Even like as a kid, I respected it. I was like, damn, that was cool.
Like that he just took it in one hand and broke it, just smashed it with one hand. That's
like I would never do that because I'm afraid like they splinter, they shard. You know, I'd be afraid like I'm gonna get stabbed. Like I would just never. Man, that's so rugged. That's so dad, huh?
And also the fact that on that Kid Rock CD, his middle finger just right
just like that. Finger. It's not like this, so it's like this.
Yeah,
it's just like the knuckle part like that. But yeah, I stole this from the warehouse and played this a lot.
Oh shit! All right, yeah. My initial thoughts on this one. I think it's a great record, but yeah, I never bought this record. I got a burn cop. Somebody burned a CD for me with this record. I don't even remember who it was. So I always had it in my CD collection, but I rarely ever listened to it. It's not that I didn't like it. I was not into hip hop, but it wasn't until post high school when I started to listen to more hip hop that I started to revisit Marshall Mathers LP. And it's something. It's crazy, man. It's a crazy good album. But now this week listening to it again, it's just like some of the shit just hasn't aged well. It's too over the top. Some of it is just too over the top, too shock jock. It's just like, man, dude, I get it when we're kids. It's so impressionable because he's so violent and so mean and fucked up. But as a grown ass adult, I'm like, damn, this is cheesy as fuck. Like
there's some wild stuff here too that even kind of like still makes me kind of cringe. Like, damn, bro, why you say this stuff?
Yeah, but it's just But there are moments on this record where it's just like calm down, man. Like I get it, you had a fucked up childhood and you grew up really, really fucking poor, but just like it's like shut the fuck up sometimes. He did just like sometimes shut the fuck up.
He did calm down, and the Eminem show after this it's him calming down, and I think that is damn near equally as good. And I've said in the past, I kind of flip flop, and I've said in the past that the Eminem show is a better record than this one. And I go back and forth. I think Marshall Mathers LP is always going to be number 3, but a case could be made for Eminem show being better than Marshall Mathers LP. What did I say? The Slim Shady LP should have been number 3.
Yeah, that's what you meant to say. Yeah.
Yeah, but Eminem show the Eminem show is damn, all the names are stupid.
They're all really dumb titles. Like all the titles to all of his records are dumb.
Yeah, they're dumb.
There's like 3 Marshall Mathers LPs now. Like Rehab or Relapse or I don't even know.
Relapse was cool. That was a cool record though.
Was it? The only like modern one I listened to was the one with Kamikaze on it. That Rick Rubin
the new
song.
One. We listened to the new one.
Oh, that's right. We did listen to the new one. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Relapse was cool because that was he made that one after his friend Proof, and that harkens back to Mekhi Phifer in 8 Mile. That character is based on Eminem's rapper friend Proof.
Yeah.
Relapse was after Proof died, and he was fighting like drug addiction anyway, like the prescription pill thing. And so after Proof died, he relapsed. He dove back into it and fucked himself up. And it's a good record. It's cool.
Actually, I take it back. I have listened to a lot more Eminem than I thought because like a year ago we were gonna do Marshall Mathers on the pod, and we went to go listen to all of the Eminem records to rank them. But we're like, let's start from the oldest or the newest to oldest. Yeah. And so I got through like his last 5 records, and it was just damn, it was dull. It was just dull. It wasn't bad, but it was just so much of the same. Yeah, it was way too much of the same. But anyway, Marshall Mathers.
When you peak so high so soon, it's just you're never going to recuperate. Even if you make records that are still, like 2 out of 3s, like that's fine. That's still good. Yeah. And sometimes we would sing praises for like Everclear putting out 2 out of 3 records, right? But Eminem putting out a 2 out of 3 record, it's almost unlistenable.
You said that more than I said that about Everclear.
Well, you, me, and Skip all agree that Everclear is 2 out of 3, at least. At least.
Be fighting words.
Man, if the general population, if Gen Pop could only see the amount of hate and antagonism and attitude that friend of the pod Skip was set off by the Everclear episode.
Oh, he was so pissed at us. He was so mad at us.
He was
mad at you. He was mad at you. He wasn't mad at me.
I don't think he's ever been that mad in his life. Like I don't think anything. I don't think anything has made him that mad.
Yeah, how much you love Everclear. But anyway,
that's wild stuff. Yeah, let's still go back.
Let's get into some bangers. I mean, because we obviously don't have any stingers on this one, right?
No.
So let's get into a couple bangers. We'll talk about 8 Mile. We'll talk about more his upbringing, all that kind of stuff too. So I already know what your number 1 is.
What?
Stan.
Of course.
That's like your favorite hip hop song of all time for me.
I think from a subjective standpoint, for sure. I think this is my favorite hip hop song of all time. From an objective standpoint, it's top 5 for sure, no matter what. I would make the argument that it's the greatest hip hop song of all time.
It's great. It's the build in this song is unreal. I mean, it's long. It's like almost 7 minutes long.
Does it ever feel that long though?
It doesn't, because his storytelling is it's just so straightforward, but it never gets boring. His rhyming is fantastic. I didn't realize how good his rhyming was on this song until this
Unreal.
Week. It is crazy. And so there's 3 verses. The first 2 are in from the perspective of Stan, the massive fan, letters that he wrote to Eminem, but you see him get in each verse, it's Stan getting progressively more pissed off that Eminem's not responding to him. And then at the end of the second verse, Stan does the unthinkable, gets in a car accident, kills his pregnant wife or girlfriend.
Third verse.
Is it the third verse?
First 2 verses are letters. Third verse is the cassette tape.
That's right, the cassette tape. And
Dear Mister, I'm too good to call or write my fans.
Right. And then Eminem does the 4th verse as Eminem, writing Stan
so
back.
mad?
Yeah. Damn. It's a great song, and just how you hear the Stan character get more pissed off. Like you can hear bubbling under through the whole those first 2 verses before he explodes in the third one.
It's like hold on there, dude. See, I keep fidgeting with this because there's like a suction, because it's like sucks into the ear, and I just
get new earbuds, man. Just get new earbuds.
I did. I've changed from these ones to those, or those ones to these ones. I don't know why it does that. I don't like that. Yeah, it's all about build with this one. And then the raindrops, man. The raindrops be falling on my head. That's a sample that they use. But the rain in the background gets more and more intense as the song progresses until like we finally get to like the final car scene, and it's wild.
Yeah.
I have so many I have pages of notes on these things, and it's not just like a hip hop song, but it's like this introspective look at like idol culture and how we put like people on pedestals. And like a perfect fucking example is this whole Dave Grohl thing, right? Dave Grohl had a child out of wedlock, and people were just losing their fucking minds.
Why though?
Because like Dave Grohl, he's such a good guy, and like he's a fucking rock star, dude. Like, come on.
Not only that, none of them know him personally. Like, they don't know anything about him.
No, and he's cheated before. He'll cheat again.
No, I don't know why.
What in the fucking shit?
It makes no sense why there's this meltdown. And when we say meltdown, it's all online.
It's a pretty big meltdown, though. Like, there's numerous like outlets
stupid.
And people posting. I can't believe he would do this. This is so unlike him. Like, the fuck you talking about?
I know.
Like, you don't know him.
Yeah.
So
first of all, you don't know him, and then like you said too, his track record. Which it does. Who the fuck cares? It's his own personal life. He can do whatever he wants to do. He doesn't.
I'm in it for the music, not his fucking personal life. I don't give a shit what he fucking does. That's his.
I know.
Whatever he does, it's fine. I don't care.
As long as he's not doing something egregious, like you know what I'm like. As long as it's not like a pedophile or anything like that, I don't give a fuck. If he cheats on his wife, that fucking sucks. That's terrible.
Yeah, welcome to Earth.
What do I? Yeah, it's just like.
Jesus
Most
Christ.
fucking
Cry me a
couples.
fucking
Jesus.
river. It's just wild. It's wild that that Dave Grohl thing is so out of pocket. It's really weird. It's really
It is.
weird.
It's kind of gross, actually. It's
But like
kind of
Stan
gross.
harkens back to that. Like this is the song, and a lot of this record is Eminem just being mad at the fame that he got from the Slim Shady LP, but also kind of understanding like, but I still want it. Like I still need it. This is still what I want out of life. But man, just let me take a shit without fucking bothering me.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. Like I get it. And like we'll get into some of the more aggressive ones. But yeah, Stan is that. It's a cool little look into like fame and how people like are obsessed with their idols. And it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's great storytelling. It's
done
it's
so
unreal.
well.
And using that Dido sample, like that song. Have you ever heard the full Dido song?
Yeah, I've
Thank
heard
you.
It, yeah.
Dude. Sorry, Dido. That song's dumb. It's stupid. Like the chorus part, like thank you. Like, dude, it's stupid. And so he asked her to use the sample, and she finally relented and said yes. And then did the video, and just like, damn, man, it's the best thing that ever happened to her.
Oh, well, yeah, totally. And I've talked about it before, but here in the United States, you don't live here. The differences between MTV and VH1, the two big music channels, was what type of music that they played. So like VH1 was more for like the adults, it was like older people music, like people in their 20s and 30s music. MTV was all like teenagers and shit. That's like pop music and all that shit. And I remember when Stan came out, it was huge all over MTV. Like Eminem was all over MTV. But on VH1, that Dido song, the thank you song, was all over VH1. Like number 1, number 2 on the VH1 top 20 countdown. Because of the Stan song. But it's just funny how like Dido was never on MTV and Eminem was never on VH1. It's just so fucking weird how that all was. I don't know. Thought that was an interesting little.
I mean, because VH1 is overall VH1 was superior because they actually took an interest in music more so than like MTV did.
They actually played the full music videos.
Well, and like the pop-up video thing was really cool. But
that was cool.
Again, like you said, it's more for adults. It's more for people that want to hear and learn about music rather than just like spring breakers who want to see titties and listen to Eminem. Yeah. So
it's true. It's true.
But yeah, the impact that this song has on music in general, and it's fucking wild. And Stan becoming a commonplace term to refer to fans of this unhinged nature is crazy.
Yeah, it's just obsessive fans. Like it was the term "stan" to describe somebody was added to the dictionary, the Oxford Dictionary. So it's crazy. It's fucking crazy. And
Nas called fucking Jay-Z a stan of Biggie.
Did he? Wait, did he?
In one of his later albums, I think 2001 or whatever, the song Ether, he calls him a stan of Biggie. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Fuck. Jay-Z's a fucking stan for sure.
But no, yeah, Stan is a fantastic song. Video is cool too. The video just goes along with the story of the entire song. So there's the actor who played the Stan in the video. He was in a lot of movies. He was in Idle Hands. That's what he was. I was trying to think what he was in. He was in Idle Hands.
Dude, he was in SLC Punk.
He was in a lot
Hands.
of shit.
He was in the like 98 to like 2001.
A lot of the
hot stuffs. Untouchable.
Man, I haven't watched
He was in Final Destination.
He was. Yeah, that's right. He was in Final Destination. I got to watch Idle Hands this year. I haven't watched it in a long time.
I don't think I've watched it in 20 years.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's probably, I mean, it was cheesy back then. I can't imagine how cheesy it is now. But the offspring in that.
Next time I go to Bookman's, yeah, dude. Next time I go to Bookman's, I'm gonna see if they have a copy of Idle Hands there. They sell it to you for like $4. If I do, I'm buying it, and we're gonna watch it when I come out.
Fuck yeah, because you'll be out here in like a week and a half. You'll be out here.
I am.
See No Effects, so
crazy,
and a bunch of other bands. So
crazy. Yeah, it's Devon Sawa and Dido. She plays the love interest, the girlfriend. Did you watch the video this week?
I didn't watch it this week, no.
So I remember there's a couple different versions. There's the shortened censored, there's the shortened uncensored, there's the lengthy censored, the lengthy uncensored, and then the true uncensored cut, which I think like no one's ever seen, because in the true uncensored cut, Dido claims that she was actually like Devin gagged her. Like obviously it was just for thematic experience wasn't real, but like she was actually gagged and kind of like roughed up a little bit as he like threw her into the car. But like that version is nowhere to be found. The version that I watched was the lengthened version, but censored. So like, so every time, so like when he's drinking, hey Slim, they got to drink a fifth of vodka, dare me to drive. He's supposed to be drinking and driving. Cut that out.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the bad words, and then like sometimes I slip my
Bad
or
words.
cut myself to see how much it bleeds. That was all not bleeped out, but just like
it was
cut.
silenced. Yeah, it was just silenced. They used to do that a lot in hip hop because do you remember that too? Like in the late '90s, early 2000s, there was so much cussing in hip hop that if there would just be too many bleeps. So I remember
bleep, 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 bleep.
you would watch MTV at some point, and then there would just be this like moment of just like silence where either they would cut out the entire track or they would just cut out the vocal, so you just hear the beat go for like a bar or two until the rapping started again, because there was just so much fucking cussing.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, and then
So
like, if you knew the song, he would just sing over it. But one of my like probably like if not my favorite part, but for sure one of my favorite parts is when in the second verse is he's kind of becoming more and more a little bit unhinged and a little bit more eccentric, and he says like sometimes I even cut myself to see how much it bleeds, like adrenaline, the pain, such a sudden rush for me. It's so powerful, it's so impactful, but the way he raps it, it's different than he does on everything else. Everything else is more like a kind of like a conversational tone. It's more of like I'm going to say a sentence and be done with it. I'm going to say a couple words and I'm going to put some space in between things. But when he says that, it's like, it's almost as if this is the last thing this kid's ever going to say. And it's crazy. It's crazy. And it gives me goosebumps and it makes me feel, and I like it.
But once again, like going back to Eminem's writing in this, the way he delivers the lines and the way he writes the lines, he makes it sound like it was actually written down as a fan letter. Like it's not just him rapping a story. It's like he's reading from an actual letter from somebody, because it has that kind of like stop and go feel. It kind of has that just unnatural flow of reading something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is just, it's so simple. It makes perfect sense, but he does it so fucking well. And it's just, this song is perfect. It truly, truly is perfect.
It's just, man, I cannot just even express how perfect storytelling this is.
It is.
It's good.
It's fantastic. Great song. Great song.
Great song. Great video. It's extremely violent.
Mm-hmm.
And not even by like Eminem standards, it's not the most violent song on the record, but it's
No.
still pretty. Like my girlfriend's pregnant too. I'm about to be a father, and then later he's like, he talks about how he threw in the trunk, but he's not gonna like slit her throat because
he wants her to
suffocate. He wants to suffer more. And like, dude, why, bro? Chill, daddy, chill.
Seriously,
but it's all deliberate, man. This is like deliberate Eminem, like not just being aggressively confrontational, but also kind of like proving a point that it's like, yeah, well, like now you say something, like it took this amount of stuff for you to for Tipper Gore and Cheney's wife to say something, whereas like Two Live Crew was getting shit on for what, like nothing, right? Like nothing.
And comparing the two, that's nothing compared to what
nothing
what Eminem was doing on this record, even on the Slim
Big
Shady
Booty Hose on stage was getting shut down. Eminem was like talking about like telling you how to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Even Eminem's like on this record and other records, he's like, is this what it takes? Is this what it fucking takes to like get you to shut the fuck up and listen? Like that's wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Straight up, a black person could have said this on record and this would have got released. No.
Oh yeah, no way.
Would not have happened.
There was a point. Actually, we'll talk about it when we get to the song. Something that Dr. Dre said, but anyway, yeah. So
Dr. Dre's dead. He's locked in my basement.
I love that part. So what's your number 2 then?
Is Stanley number 1?
Yeah, Stan's my number 1. Yeah.
This fucking guy.
Come on.
Good.
You.
Yeah. Number 2 is this should be an easy 2, but the real Slim Shady.
Yes, that's my number 2.
Yeah, like this should be number 1. This is the best song on the record. But Stan was there, so you just can't fuck with it. Yeah, the real Slim Shady, man. This took the world by storm. Like this, what? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, this song was everywhere.
This is your clap back to like the record execs telling you to write a single. Like, you need to write another single. Like, you need to do something that's bigger. And like, we don't have a real single here. We have a second single and a third single. So this is what you come up with. And honestly, this is pretty fucking cheesy. This is essentially just like musically, this is just a reworking of My Name Is.
Yes.
Right. Like
just
that song,
bouncier.
My Name Is, had a fucking absolute killer riff, a killer sample, which I can't remember the fuck name was of the sample. The do 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 do.
Yeah, I forgot who it was.
It's like some weird name.
But Slim Shady, the real Slim Shady is like a little bit faster, tiny bit faster, a little bit bouncier, and it doesn't have the stop and go feel, the kind of trudging along feel that My Name Is has.
Yeah,
I fucking love Slim Shady.
It's a very pop reworking of My Name Is.
Yeah,
perfect pop.
It's like the bubblegum pop of like, it's hard, like that beat that like your Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, and NSYNC had in the late 90s, that bubblegum pop like bass sound. That's what they're doing in the real Slim Shady. Like, and I think it's intentional because the song was like one of the last ones to be recorded for the record because not Interscope. Was it Interscope?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they wanted another pop song to put as the lead single for this record because, you know, My Name Is was so huge. They wanted the same thing for this record. And so they Eminem got back in the studio with Dre, and they like rushed this song. They put it out. It was all done very kind of haphazardly, but it also mocks like what was going on in the pop scene at this time. This is 2000, the year 2000, you know, boy bands, you know, pop princesses were the thing, you know, and I just love how it's just like a subtle, like kind of like fuck you to the music industry too on top of it.
Yeah, really just everything he hates about music. And he even fucking hates Bloodhound Gang, apparently. Or at least he recognizes them enough to incorporate them in here.
Yeah.
But it's just cool. It's funny because he's like, yeah, like why did we watch Tom Green be a fucking weirdo? Right? Like why were we obsessed with that?
Because it was just because it was shocking. Like nobody had seen that on TV. That's why we
nobody
Tom
cared.
Green.
Like nobody thought that was weird, and that shit was fucking weird, dude. Like I'm watching Tom Green clips now. It's like, bro, that's not okay. That's just what you're doing is not okay. It's weird.
But it also kind of like it predates the CKY Jackass stuff too. You know, it's just it did it like in a more obscene way. But I mean, it really wasn't that much different than, especially what the CKY guys were doing. There was some pretty obscene shit with the CKY stuff.
I just never thought of Tom Green as like a kid. When I see CKY, and they act like kids because they're kids. Yeah. Tom Green, I mean, I don't know how old he was at the time, but he just never seemed like a kid to me.
Because he had that goatee. He always,
I think it was the facial hair.
Yeah. Dude,
so,
you remember?
Okay, so I just looked it up real quick. He was like 31. Dude, he was 30.
No way, really?
Yeah, he was born in 1970.
Oh yes, no, he was like 20. I guess he was almost 30. Yeah, he was almost 30. Yeah, a little weird.
That's weird. That's too much.
Do you ever watch the show a lot growing up though?
Tom Green show?
Yeah.
No.
You never really? Fuck.
I thought he was weird. I don't like it.
Dude, I used to watch it so much, and I remember there was, I forgot, Glenn. No, not Glenn. One of the other guys. So there's one guy on the show. There's one guy on the show. No, it's not. Glenn is like his
Derek?
friend. No, fuck. What was the guy? His whole thing on the show was that he sat behind Tom Green and Glenn Humplick. Glenn Humplick was like his friend. He was like the Andy Richter to Conan O'Brien. God. So like it was Tom Green and Glenn Humplick. And then this guy sat behind them like in a window, and all he did was drink coffee and laugh. That was literally all he did. He would just sit back, like lean back in his chair and drink coffee and just laugh at them for doing something stupid. And apparently he wasn't really their friend or anything. He was just like some random guy in the studio that was just laughing at them one day, thinking that they were funny. And they're like, this would be kind of, because he was always just around, I guess. Like, why don't we just put him on the show, just sitting behind us, just put him in the background laughing at us, because he was already doing it behind the camera. Let's just put him in front of the camera, and that was his whole thing. That's literally all he did.
I like that.
Yeah, forgot the guy's name. And I remember Tom Green would always reference him. Like, I don't know, he would just always kind of pick on him too. But all he would do is laugh and drink coffee. This whole thing.
I like slapstick a lot. I like goofy stuff, but Tom Green, I just never got into Tom Green.
Freddy Got Fingered? You didn't like Freddy Got Fingered?
I hated that fucking movie.
That movie is fucking wild.
I hated that movie. Dumb. I love the movie Road Trip. I fucking hated Tom Green in there. I wish he wasn't in there. But it's weird because I love Eric Andre and I like his show a lot. I think that show's absolutely fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never got into Tom Green. Maybe it's because he's Canadian. Maybe that's why. There's only room for one funny Canadian.
I saw
in this era.
I saw Tom Green on Joe Rogan's podcast not even a year ago. Dude, the guy is the most mild mannered person ever. Like he lives like kind of off the grid. And he was talking about how like during COVID, he he lived off grid, didn't have any access to anything for like almost a year, just because he wanted to, because he could. So he bought like land, like a farm in the middle of nowhere, Canada, and he just lived on his farm. He bought a donkey and just kind of like learned everything about donkeys and shit. So, dude, the guy is just like, he seems like a really nice, cool guy. Like complete opposite of what we saw in the 90s and early 2000s. But anyway.
I think too, like I always, I don't know the ins and outs of that relationship, but dude, how did you fuck up like that thing with Drew Barrymore? Like, what are you doing?
I know.
What did you, come on, bro. That's why I hate.
I mean, in the end, it was probably her. I mean, she's always been a little, come on, guy. I mean, she had a fucked up child, really, really fucked up childhood. But I mean,
wow,
you can't put all the blame on him.
You better watch yourself.
You really can't put all the blame on him.
Better watch yourself.
It's true. You really like Drew Barrymore that much? Come on.
Yeah. America's sweetheart.
Okay. All right. Real Slim Shady. Oh shit. Damn, dude, and also so the references in this song too. I mean, not only Tom Green, Bloodhound Gang, unless you weren't like a teenager at the time, like somebody who's like 20 years old now would not get half of these references that he brings up. You know, all the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Christina Aguilera, Carson Daly, you know, it just the whole like relationship, all the shit that was going on, the rumors that Christina Aguilera was fucking Carson Daly and Fred Durst, and
that's because Carson like said some shit like that. Like Fred Durst is just an idiot and he just like to say shit just to stir the pot. I think like Carson Daly actually said something like, "Oh, she wasn't with him, she was with me," some dumb shit like that. But like, out of all the things on this record that make me think that, dude, you shouldn't have said that. That's the one thing. Like the Christina Aguilera thing. Like, come on, bro. Like, you're better than that. Like, rumors, dude. Like, you're from Detroit. You're from like the poorest area of Detroit. Like, really? You're gonna fucking bite into rumors? You're better than that. That's the only thing in this record that is like,
Of all the things, come on.
Yeah.
I think you're being a little silly.
That's not an artistic outlet for you know, anguish or whatever you want to do, rage. It's just being a little bitch. That's stupid.
And then also in the video too, Fred Durst is the only one that's in the actual video. They get like a Carson Daly lookalike and there's like what is she, a blow up doll or something like that in the video?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and then they're like pulling both pulling at her and everything. And
yeah,
it's
but
just
Fred
like,
Durst, of course, Fred Durst is gonna show up.
Of course he is. He does at this time. Fred Durst did anything and everything. Didn't
Dude,
matter.
Do you know what I learned this week too that I had no idea is that Limp Bizkit and Eminem did a song together.
How do I? Maybe I knew that. No, maybe I didn't know that. Oh yeah, it was supposed to be on Significant Other.
Yeah, but it was canceled, and then
there's like a really rough version of it on YouTube.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I think we talked about it.
Maybe
we talked about it on this. No, it's not. We talked about it on the Significant Other episode that we did years ago. Yeah, we did talk about it.
I mean, it's not a great song, so I remember that. I mean, I don't remember it, but I imagine we'll talk about it again because it's not a memorable track.
Yeah, it's not that great. Fun fact too, Eminem was in Korn's "Got the Life" video at the giant house party at the end of the video too.
For like what 0.002
for like
seconds?
A second, yeah. He's in the video. One of his first like music video, like big music video appearances. He was in the Korn video. But isn't that cool too? Like he was chilling with like Fred Durst and like all the new metal guys. Like it's cool, like how he was doing everything in hip hop and then doing stuff with all the rock music too.
Yeah,
rad stuff.
Because he worked, man. He worked hard.
He did. Yeah,
he worked hard, and he didn't like. I don't want to say he didn't take no for an answer, but he really pushed it. So like when he got a call from like Dre and stuff, and Dre was like, "Oh, I'll offer you a job." It was like, and then like went the next day, like got all his shit. I mean, he didn't have a lot of shit to get together, but flew out. Like, I'm done. I'm out. Let's go. Let's do it tonight. So like, Eminem worked.
He did, and watching that Hip Hop Evolution documentary too. One of the guys from D12 was talking about the whole thing and how this is before Marshall Mathers LP. This is when he was doing Slim Shady. And he didn't tell anybody in Detroit that he was going out to LA to go record with Dre. He was very, very humble about it. And like at the last minute, he's like, hey guys, I'm going out to LA to record with Dre. You guys want to come? Like, I'll fly you guys out. Let's go. But it was like that same day or like the next day, like nobody believed him.
Yeah,
Nobody
that was.
believed him.
So I didn't finish it, but I remember the last time that I watched it. That was when he called his friend. His friend quit his job, right? Like the dude from D12. He's like, "Hey, come out
Did
here.
he?
I got you. Like, don't worry about it.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Dre's doing this." He's like, no, you fucking didn't."
Yeah, I didn't believe him.
He's
Yeah.
like, "Yes, dude. Like, come out tomorrow." And the guy's like, "All right, fuck it. I quit," and then took off and then went.
Then when so he didn't really tell anybody that he signed because he signed the deal with Aftermath, like within a day he signed it and everything just snowballed so quickly with his career. I mean, think about it too. That came out in '99. A year and a half later, Marshall Mathers LP comes out. I mean, that's a lot of just writing and recording and promotion and touring.
That's
God, that is so much. I mean, people in the '70s were doing this. I mean, look at CCR. Look at the Beatles in the '60s. I mean, these guys were putting out 1 to 2 records a year. It's not unheard of, but even still, it's impressive putting out this much material, working this hard. Look, it's crazy.
It is kind of like you like to compare like CCR to Eminem just because you already said it. It is interesting because like those guys wrote their music, right? Like Eminem had a team of people to help him.
Yeah, that's true.
And so it kind of does devalue, like to me, it does devalue the product a little bit, like in the back end. Cause it's like, damn, man, like, yeah, you put out a bunch of albums. You're lucky that this fucking good. Otherwise I would be talking a lot more shit on the back end part of it.
Mm.
But you put out a product like this, that's fine. We're good.
Isn't that such an interesting thing? The differences between like hip hop and rock music is that, when you look at hip hop, it doesn't really matter what the MC does. It's more about the production team that really fucking matters. But in like rock music, especially of the '70s, it was either a band effort or it was just like one dude. Like it was like John Fogerty, going back to CCR. If anybody but John Fogerty did a CCR record, which they did do, it was a complete fucking flop and it wasn't even good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense with what I'm trying to say?
It's really like what do we value more in hip hop, right? Like
that's
great production and an okay MC versus like great MC and okay production, right? What is going to come out being better? And I guess I don't know. I guess it really depends because we hear a lot of things that are fucking great, but like the rapper sucks and it's stupid and like nobody gives a shit. And then vice versa too. And there's other times too where we have, like a lot of underground hip hop stuff, like Ugly Duckling. People would say the Ugly Duckling, like they don't have great production, they don't have great MCs, but it's fucking great. Stay in your lane, achieve the, what do you want to do in music? I guess is the better term. CCR, dude, 4 of their records, they wrote like 3 songs and they all sound the fucking same.
They do, yeah.
But right, stay in your lane, dude. Take those 4 songs and run with it. Bob Dylan's music sounds the fucking same.
Mm-hmm.
Lyrically, it's not the same, but like musically
yeah.
that shit's the same. But like, stay in your lane and run with it. Be the best at it. If you're gonna do it, be the best.
Agreed. Yeah. All right. So we really sidetracked there. Real Slim Shady, fantastic song, 2 banger for both of us. Number 2 banger. Video. There's also a lot of like guest stars in it too. I mean, Fred Durst, Kathy Griffin's in it.
I hate Kathy Griffin.
I do
so
too.
Much.
I
so
don't like her at all
fucking
either.
much.
I don't like her either. But I mean, she was very, very popular in the '90s.
I've hated Kathy Griffin for so long. I've hated her since I was like a kid because my dad hated her because he didn't like her when she was in Seinfeld. So I've hated her ever since.
She was in Seinfeld. That's right.
So she already was in a hole like that she had to climb out of. But then like Kathy Griffin to me is just like Tom Green. She just does shit, and it's like, am I popular? Like, does this make me popular? Yeah. Does making fun of this guy make me popular? And the whole Donald Trump with the severed head thing is like, man, shut the fuck, get out of here, dude. Get your own shtick.
It's crazy, like like that whole Donald Trump thing, what she did, and it's just like she didn't get the backlash that I can't believe she didn't get any backlash for that. Honestly,
she did a little bit, but
not to the extent like had she done that with like Obama's head. Like, come on.
No,
come on. Are you kidding me?
No.
Can you imagine the backlash if she had done that? That'd be fucking insane. Wild. That would have been insane if she did that.
I don't like I don't like her voice. I don't like Kathy Griffin. But she's only in the beginning, so that's fine.
She was in X-Files too, right? An episode of X-Files?
She has a twin. There's 2 of her in X-Files.
That's right. Yeah, she's a twin. God. That's right. Yeah.
Like, what's worse than one Kathy Griffin is fucking 2 of them. Good Lord.
Worst episode ever. No. Just kidding.
That was actually a really, really good episode, and like she was tolerable in that one.
That was like later Mulder, like Mulder seasons, right?
I think that may have
Like one of the
for
last
sure
seasons
later
he
Mulder.
did.
That may have been Doggett.
Was it?
But
No,
that
I
was
don't
the
think it was
one where she had the
Doggett.
twin sister. Anytime
Yeah.
her and her twin get together or in the close vicinity, everybody around them just starts beating the absolute shit
That's
out
right.
of each other.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That wasn't.
like
I don't
like
think
to
it was
the
a
point where they
Doggett.
get hospitalized.
That's right. Yeah, it was a good episode, but I don't think it was a Doggett. I think it was a later Mulder. Later Mulder.
She was
season.
tolerable in that episode. Tolerable.
Yeah. God, and everyone criticizes the Doggett seasons. Doggett was a great character in X Files. Like,
he was
really underrated.
It's just the writers, like they already, like where are you gonna go?
Yeah.
Like the whole. I mean, that's not an X Files pod, but that's fine.
I like Doggett a lot. I really, really like, and I like that actor a lot. He's a great actor. Great fucking actor.
What's his name?
I forgot his
Patrick.
name.
Robert Patrick.
Yeah, Robert Patrick. Yeah, remember him in Sopranos? Great in fucking Sopranos too. Fantastic.
Sopranos.
He was Tony's friend, but he wasn't like in the mob or anything like that. But he was a gambler, and he borrowed a bunch of money from for one of the other guys. But yeah, and then he had the sporting goods store. You remember that? And he lost the sporting goods store. Fuck, dude. His character was really good in The Sopranos.
I only watched the season. I only watched the series once.
You're
Seen
stupid.
it once.
Watch it again. Tammy and I are gonna restart it after we finish the OC. We're gonna restart The Sopranos.
See, like the difference between like you and me starting series is I like to watch other things. I like to go back and revisit. I like revisiting. Yeah. Love revisiting. But I also like to watch other shows.
I get it.
Like you just kind of watch the same 10 shows over and over. It's not a big deal.
Tammy and I
say anything bad.
Tammy and I do. But I watch my own things outside of that. You still haven't watched Winning Time? I keep telling you to watch Winning Time.
Love Winning Time. Kobe wins. I've seen it.
You're an idiot. You're so stupid.
He won.
Let's get back to this. We've really it's almost like we don't even like this record. We can't even stay on topic here.
It's because I really only have a lot of fucking notes for like 4 songs. Everything else is just kind of like, damn, I'm tired.
All right. Let's get back into this. Do we have anything else on the Real Slim Shady?
No.
All right. So let's get a little bit into 8 Mile. Because you and I watched it yesterday. Actually, we watched it, not together, but
gotta
we
watch 8 Mile. We're doing Eminem for sure.
You have it on DVD. I had to rent it off Amazon, which, it's fine. Glad I didn't buy it. So I thought the movie sucked. I hated the movie.
What?
I hated that
hold
movie.
on.
I hated
First
it.
of all, let's start from the beginning.
It's almost 2 hours long. Oh my God. It was terrible. The movie was terrible. From the beginning
because I noticed now that I have an 85-inch TV, the opening scene with Eminem washing his face. I was like, dude, that is the ugliest man I have ever seen on the big screen. He is so fucking disgusting looking.
Okay.
So I will give you that. Eminem is a shitty actor.
I mean, no, he's like, he's awful. Like, he's one of the worst. One of the worst. Like, and I never noticed it until today or yesterday when I was watching it. Everything above his nose does not move. Does not move. Like, he barely even moves his mouth. But
yeah, he's always just like he sucked on a lemon. He's just always like scowling.
But his eyes don't move. His eyebrows don't move. Nothing. And it's just like he's like a fucking robot. I've never seen anything like it. It's fucking weird. The movie was terrible. The rapping was cool. It was fine. And then Lose Yourself. It's not even in the movie. It's
very end.
It's in the credits. It's not in the movie though. It's in the credits. Not even in the fucking movie.
We're leading up to it, baby. We're leading up to it.
Yesterday was the first time I've ever seen the movie. By the way, never seen it.
I know, and that's why. We had to watch it because that's
you knew I've never seen it.
Yeah, we talked about this.
We did. I don't remember us talking about it. I was hoping to get like a reaction like you did with Romeo and Juliet when I told you I'd never seen it. That's what I was hoping.
I gave you that reaction like weeks ago when we decided on like Eminem. How the fuck have you never fucking seen this?
I've never seen 8 Mile.
I've owned this movie 3 times now because I bought it on when I took that picture. I was at Bookman's. When I sent you the picture, I was at Bookman's to get that DVD. So this is the 3rd time I've owned this movie. I bought it when it first came out on DVD when I worked at like Blockbuster.
Yeah,
it was like 2007-ish or whatever. Then I bought it again years later because I don't know what happened to that one. And then I bought it again yesterday yesterday. It's not a great movie.
It's not great at all.
It's just telling you a story. It's
but it's not even like a story. Like it's just dude, it's so none of it makes any fucking sense. The characters are nonsense. Like everybody outside of his mom is like who cares? Who gives a fuck? No, I mean even Eminem. Like I don't care about his character. Or was it Mr. Rabbit? What is his stupid fucking name? Stupid fucking names for everybody anyway.
I mean, there's a lot of things that were changed too. So like his name Rabbit, that wasn't his name. They called him something else, but they changed it to Rabbit for whatever. For Jimmy, his name's Jimmy in there, right? Instead of like Marshall, his name's Jimmy in there. And then like one of the biggest points too was like fucking. I can't remember the other
fucking
one.
method over here.
You know what I didn't? You know, a fucking. I'm gonna staple your nuts. fucking. That's my favorite part. Is
Dude, that's one of the funniest things on that Wu-Tang record. Is when they're trying to come up with the insults.
They're so terrible at it. But I didn't know Eminem had a brother. I didn't know he had a brother / like son until last night.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like looking it up, and as I was looking up all the people who they're supposed to be in Eminem's real life, I think it was his little sister or some shit that was supposed to be his little brother. And that got taken away early on and thrown in the foster care system. And Eminem like fought hard to get like full custody of him. Eminem tried when Eminem was like 16 because his brother, like when Em was 16, his brother was like 2 or 3. So Em fought to get custody at 16. He fought to get custody at like 20, at like 22, at like 24. And he finally got full custody of his little brother. And they eventually he lived with them forever, and they're good friends now and like related. And Haley, his daughter, is really good friends with his little brother, which is like so fucking cool.
That's really
like
cool.
Eminem never stopped fighting to get custody of his little brother, and I had no idea. That's cool.
I knew he had siblings, but I didn't know that was the story behind it. And when I was watching the movie, I kind of thought, because it doesn't really explain. I kind of thought the little girl was like supposed to be Haley, but not Haley, if that makes sense. Because it's like because the sport, from what I gathered, the movie is supposed to take place in like 97 or 98 or something like that. I don't know.
So I mean, 95, 96.
95, 96. Because Haley was born in 95. So I don't know. Either way, anyway, the movie was terrible.
Stuff doesn't add up,
terrible.
but it's not terrible.
It's a bad movie. Like
it's like, what did you expect?
I don't know what I expected, but not that.
You like more than that?
I feel like
that's on you, dude.
I feel like the only reason why it was popular was because of the way it was shot. It was very dark and grimy, and everything was green. Everything was fucking green.
It was popular because it came out in like 2002, and everybody wanted more Eminem.
It came out because Eminem was on top of the world in pop culture, and also because making a movie like dark and gritty like that was very different at the time. Because everybody, like everything in the 90s was very bright, and it was a very different type of like filmmaking, and doing something gritty like that movie was like instantly going to make it popular. On top of Eminem being so famous, yeah, and what like it said, and because Eminem is so famous, but that
talk about like saving money and like production, right? Like, hey, like let's make a movie about me. You can use me, and you can use my music. That's pretty crazy. I
looked up the budget, $41 million to make that movie.
It's nothing. That's chump change.
I thought that was too much for that movie. For what I saw, dude, it's
chump change.
Dude, that movie should have costed like $10 million at the most. Like that movie was not.
Dude, Mekhi Phifer was big back then. He was big.
Like all of the money had to have gone to Eminem and probably Mekhi Phifer and then Kim Basinger. Like those are like the big 3 in the movie.
And don't forget, this is an early Anthony Mackie, who later would become the Falcon and now Captain America in the Marvel Universe.
But he was like in it for fucking 3 minutes, if that. Like no screen time.
He was the major antagonist.
Brittany Murphy, and I'm surprised. Brittany Murphy was always talked about. Like, she's so good. She's so amazing in this movie. She's in it for like 5 minutes, and most of that 5 minutes, she's fucking him in the factory,
horning around.
And also that scene right there. What was the point of that scene?
Which one, the factory scene?
Yeah, when he was having sex with Brittany Murphy. Like, what the fuck is this shit?
I think that's to set up how devastating it was for him to walk in on her with the other dude.
I get it. I get that.
Which could have just been like a good line of dialogue. That would have been fine.
It would have been way better than 2-3 minutes of.
It was a long time
with no music. It's just it was really bad. And then people are always like, "Oh, Taryn Manning was so good in it. She was in it for 45 seconds. She's barely even in it." And this movie is almost, like I said, this movie is almost 2 hours long.
I think it was long enough.
Dude, it was a bad movie. I would never watch it again. I would never recommend it to anybody. It was terrible.
Don't forget your boy X to the Z Exhibit's in there.
He was in it. Yeah, he was in it. I don't like Exhibit at all. I don't know why you even said that.
You don't like who?
X to the Z Exhibit.
X to the Z Exhibit, baby.
Yeah.
Don't ever disrespect the name.
That movie sucked.
It's just it's a fun
It's not
it's a
fun.
fun little movie.
It's not.
I will always watch it if I'm in an Eminem mood and I'm gonna be like watching a movie afterwards. I'll watch it again. I like the movie. I enjoy it. Like, it's not supposed to be great. It's just supposed to tell you a little bit more about like the backstory of Eminem, where he came from, who he was.
It made $250 million on a $40 million budget
because people like Eminem.
And people think it's good because it's Eminem. It's fucking awful. Stop kidding yourself. It's not good.
It's fun. It's enjoyable.
All right. Okay.
Don't put all your hands all over your face like that. We just talked about this.
We just did talk about it. Yeah. All right.
We're about. Okay.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on from 8 Mile. I mean,
God, dude, but those
I like
rap
the rapping
battles were
part.
so good.
They were cool, but what is that? 10 minutes of the whole movie?
That's true.
Like, it's the beginning, the end, and then there's like a couple scenes like in the middle of the movie, like maybe that are less than 5 minutes in the middle of the movie.
It really is like there's so many parts that are so dumb. Like the lead up in the very beginning, right, where he's on the stage and he chokes and he's like, oh my God, now we have to go through a whole fucking 30 minutes of you building it up. Oh my God.
And then his friend, his dumb friend shoots himself in the leg and shit. It's
Cheddar
like,
Bob never happened in real life.
Why
he
put
had a
it
dumb
in there?
friend, but he never shot himself in the leg in real life.
So stupid. So dumb.
I was looking up
call me Mr. Bob or call me DJ Bob. In the car, was going to the hospital. It's like, this is fucking, like, who wrote this? Who greenlit this movie?
You can tell like the
so
actors
bad.
from the non-actors too in that that entire movie, because like damn, because even like the big guy too, like the big guy in there is an actor, and I've seen him in other movies like an extra and stuff.
His mom's boyfriend?
No, the big guy in their crew. The guy that always wears like the puffy ass coat. He's like fucking 6'4", 9 feet tall. Not big. Yeah, he's big. I've seen him in other movies too, though. But yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It just shows like the beginning. But what's interesting though is like the big thing for me was that Eminem already had his first record was already out. Like he was already making mixtapes. He wasn't like trying to get studio time. He already had studio time. Yeah. Like in 95, 96, he already had like mixtapes out. He was already like releasing stuff.
He had been doing stuff. Well, his first record came out in 96. Infinite came out in 96. And then he was putting out,
it just didn't make
he was putting
sense.
out mixtapes back in 92, and he was in like his first music video, I think in 93. So
you hear that she did with Ruckus? That shit was fat.
I don't know what the fuck you just said.
You hear that shit he did with Ruckus? That shit was fat. That was in Stan.
Was it? Okay. Oh, it wasn't Stan. You're right.
I like that shit he did with Ruckus, yo. That shit was fat.
That's right. That wasn't Stan.
That's all right.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. All right. All right. So let's get back to the record. Let's get back to the album. What's your 3B here?
The Way I Am. Because if I wasn't, then why would I say I am?
That's my 3B as well.
Paper,
singles, baby.
The news. Every day I am.
All right. What do you got on this one?
Radio when I play my gym. the amount of rhyming that Eminem does in this song is bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Yeah. So the usage of anapestic tetrameter is what it's called. It's wild. Oh, this guy knows the nuance of the English language here. It's wild. So this poetic device, this poetic device is largely used in kids shit. Like Dr. Seuss was king at this. Yeah. A lot of like English poets use this, but Dr. Seuss really adopted this and made it the I don't know, the go-to for like kids literature. And it's crazy. It's a little nuanced thing, but he like does it to the max.
Yeah.
And he does it and he makes it so pronounced. And so if you're ever trying to explain what this literary device is, you could just play him The Way I Am. And like, true. I get it. The stressed syllables, the unstressed syllables. I understand what that means now because he's so aggressive about it.
He is.
And damn, this song is aggressive.
The way he enunciates his words really helps with it as well. But I mean, I never made that Dr. Seuss connection, but then once I read it, it makes perfect fucking sense. Makes perfect sense. It's a da 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 da. It's the beat. It's so simple. It's so childlike, so childish, but it works. and he does it through the entire fucking song, except for the chorus. But every verse, it's relentless. And what's cool too is like he layers the vocals to where there's one vocal track that's just a tiny bit behind, or it's more like an echo, but it's just a tiny bit behind him, so it sounds like it's a background vocal, but it's not. It's just another little nuance to the whole song and the production that I think is fantastic. Good song.
This is aggressive. This is an aggressive song. It's interesting here because like this is what we alluded to earlier, where he is talking to his kind of fans here. It's kind of like this double-edged sword, whereas like the fame has brought him this weird unhappiness because he can't just be himself and be alone. But on the other side is he still wants it. He still wants it. He still needs it. He still appreciates it. It's just, I get it, man. Like it is a little bit whiny, to be honest. It's a little bit whiny, right? Like, God, dude, like this is what you want. Now that you have it, you're still going to fucking complain about it. But it's really just his way of just venting. It's a venting song. It is. And I understand. Like there's only so much you can take.
He wants to be treated
like
a human. Yeah. And you hear that with a lot of celebrities, especially at this time. I mean, celebrity culture in the 90s. Celebrity culture in the 90s was crazy. Like the way people treated celebrities like they were fucking gods. Did you just fart or something? What was that?
No, that was this.
Okay, it sounded like fucking ripped ass.
Like to me, it wasn't that loud at all. Like it just.
It was really loud.
Like I heard it, but it wasn't that loud at all. That's funny.
All right. The way
was it loud on your end?
It was. Yeah, it was pretty loud. It was pretty loud.
Good.
There's
a new bit. There's a new bit.
There's a new bit. Fuck. Now I'm totally derailed from the way I am.
I honestly, I can't. I keep coming back to this Dave Grohl thing because so many people have come into my record store and then they're like, "Oh, you see what Dave Grohl did?" It's just like, dude, like, you know, I'm a little more tactful and a little nicer about it in a professional stance. But my ending argument's always the same. Like, what the fuck did you expect?
Yeah.
He's not like us. These people aren't like us. They're not normal people. They're not proletariats.
They're put into very different positions than most people are in the world, than your average.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're put into these situations and they're only human, and they're gonna fall into the same trappings that most everybody does when they're solicited certain things. So
it's crazy.
Yeah. But it's also like, with going back to the Dave Grohl thing too, it's just, dude, it's terrible he cheated on his wife and shit, but fucking David Bowie was having sex with underage people. People love David Bowie. They talk about how amazing and how great of a person he was, but no, he's fucked up. I
hate going back to it and stuff. It's because it's dumb, but they're just people. They're people, and they make errors just like everybody else, but the errors they make are bigger than everybody else because they're in bigger positions. That's it.
Yeah.
But that's I know that kind of coincides with like a lot of the way I am is, and it's funny. It's catchy. The hook's catchy.
It's very, very catchy. Yeah. The song was huge. I mean, it wasn't as big as Stan and The Real Slim Shady, but it was fucking big. This song was all over the place. 3 giant hits off this record. That's crazy. That is fucking crazy.
What's crazy about like The Way I Am and Slim Shady is like we're halfway through the record and we're finally getting to like arguably his biggest song, Slim Shady.
And that's
like,
track
we're halfway
8.
through the record.
There's 18 songs and it's Slim Shady is track 8. That's pretty crazy because like we've talked about on the podcast before, you know, albums are like pop albums are generally top heavy. You're going to put all the big hits at the very beginning, the first 4 or 5 songs. But yeah, to have the Slim Shady, that was the first single, the one that blew up, and have it halfway through the record. That's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Whatever though. Whatever. So
whatever.
Anything else on The Way I Am?
No, that was good. No. I'm just humming along to other Eminem songs now.
It's crazy just in the like pop culture. It's like it just in pop culture in general how big Eminem was. I mean, he was everywhere. Like literally he was fucking you couldn't You turn on the radio, you listen. I mean, it wasn't just like pop radio. It was K-Rock. K-Rock here in LA was playing Eminem. They were playing the real Slim Shady. I remember
had to
before I burned the CD, I taped that song off of K-Rock onto a little cassette tape. Off of K-Rock, not off of Kiss FM, but off K-Rock. Because I mean, just they would not stop playing Eminem everywhere on MTV. You know, it was just he was on all the award shows. He was on not behind the music, but like whatever documentary or whatever stupid show was on MTV. Eminem was always a part of it. Dude, the guy was fucking everywhere. But then why is that?
Rightfully so.
Because he's a white.
Rightfully so.
It's because
obviously that has a major thing to do with it. That has a significant. That's going to factor into all the aesthetic, and it's that as a white rapper who is breaking through the barrier where there was really no white rapper as a megastar. What can you do to stand out? What can you do to compete with your contemporaries? What can you do to be bigger, right? Because ICP had a bunch of records already out, but like, who the fuck cares about ICP? Nobody, everybody still makes fun of ICP.
Yeah,
like the Chuck Mangione of hip hop, right? Like, nobody cares about ICP.
Honestly, I think like when it comes to like white people bridging the gap, the only other rapper you could compare to Eminem would be Vanilla Ice. Like, regardless of what you think of Vanilla Ice, I mean, Ice Ice Baby was enormous, and people from all cultures will say that Ice Ice Baby was massive in the underground scene before it blew up. Like, people loved that fucking song. Like, and
he's got good flow.
He's a good rapper. He was a good rapper. He gets a bad rap because the song was the first of its kind. It was the first one to really cross the boundary, and he got ridiculed for it. Even though people fucking loved that song before it blew up. People fucking loved it. And it's like one of the, not the best selling singles, but it's still like it sold so many fucking units, just that one song, that album too. The guy was huge. And I don't think Vanilla Ice gets enough credit. I really, really don't. Like, compared to Eminem, like, Eminem is great. Don't get me wrong. Vanilla Ice was good too, but he just has this bad rap because of the way the media treated him was different than Eminem was. Eminem was just like,
because Vanilla Ice was stupid.
Vanilla Ice was stupid, but he was good at what he did. He had a great beat, he had a great sample, and he was a good rapper.
He was fine at like 2 songs.
But he was never given. But that's the thing too. He was ridiculed so much to where he couldn't follow up with it because everything there was no follow up to it. There was literally no follow up to Ice Ice.
It was stupid. Vanilla Ice was stupid.
And then the lawsuit from Queen as well. They've sued him for using the bass line from Under Pressure. It's just.
And that's the thing too. Like there's a real famous interview where you can see Vanilla Ice defend his not stealing, his not usage of the Queen riff, and he's like, no, it's totally different, dude. Theirs goes din 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 din, and mine goes din 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 din. But it's like, dude, are you fucking dumb? Are you stupid? It's the same fucking thing. You start and in the same place, and it sounds almost identical. Get the fuck out of here.
I think he was also talking about like there's like one hi-hat hit that's different from the Queen version too. So that was another thing.
He's fine. I do think he gets too much shit. I think people need to relax a little bit on him.
Agreed.
But that's about it. Like, no, like this is already too much Vanilla Ice talk.
I'm just saying, like, I think the reason why Eminem was able to cross it better was because one, he had Dre behind him. I mean, Dre, the most sought after, one of the biggest guys in hip hop, if not the biggest guy in hip hop. He had Dre behind him. Not only that, he was able to take all the hits, take all the negative criticism that Vanilla Ice couldn't take. He was like, all the criticism that came back at him, he would just came back tenfold and said fuck you, and made more aggressive, more violent, abrasive music. He just has thicker skin. That's what it came down to. He had thicker skin than Vanilla Ice did. And that's why those are the two big reasons why he was more successful. But Vanilla Ice was doing the same thing almost 10 years prior.
Not doing the same thing though. He was rapping, but like that's like saying Beastie Boys were doing the same. That's like saying LP was doing it before Eminem was. There's a lot of people that were doing rapping before Eminem was. None of them did what Eminem did.
But Eminem was also like, he's more of a shock jock. He's more of a shocking guy. Like, he's just there to, like, I think he's one of the greatest rappers of all time. I really, really do. And he has amazing songs, amazing albums. But in the end, he made his career off of shocking people and pissing people off. Pissing off the media, conservatives, politicians, parents
See,
and
this is
shit like that.
interesting. This is interesting because this is where I start to really defend like art in general. And if we can watch like Quentin Tarantino drop the N-word over and over and over
I know where
in
you're going
every
with
one of
this.
his fucking movies, and then like, oh, but there was such Pulp Fiction, so good. But like, dude, he just loves dropping that word. Like, if you like say it, you like to fucking say it. Like, don't try and pretend it's part of your movies. But if we pass that off as like a cinematic masterpiece, but then just say Eminem likes to just say things just to piss people off, like, why? Why are those two things different? Eminem, I don't think he likes to just say things to piss people off. I think he does do that, but I think he's also trying to tell us that, like, bro, like, why is it okay that this guy can do it, but this guy can't do it? But if I do it, it's okay. But going back again, that if a black person was saying this stuff in the year 2000, this would never have been made. Even Dre, like, Dre's not stupid. Dre likes money. Not as much as Jay-Z likes money, but Dre likes money. And Dre never would have signed any black artist that was speaking the way Eminem was speaking. But he knew that he could make money off Eminem because he was a white guy.
They found the both of them found a winning formula. They knew how to make money. They knew how to progress within the scene. And that once again,
Eminem likes rapping. Eminem likes to be a rapper. He's a rap artist. Whereas like Dre started to kind of like pretty much when Aftermath happened is when Dre realized that the gangster life is not for me. When Suge Knight like presented himself and was like, oh, I'm an actual gangster, Dre's like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm out.
And all that shit with with Death Row and Dre.
And speaking of Vanilla Ice too, the story with Suge Knight and Vanilla Ice, supposedly Suge Knight holding Vanilla Ice outside of his balcony by his ankles, threatening to kill him.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it's not
believe it. Of course, I believe it.
Like a lot of those guys, I mean, you even like, in light of all the P. Diddy stuff with all the sexual allegations, like all that shit that's going on right now. But I mean, reading about the stories that what P. Diddy was doing back in the 90s and like threatening people and for like using samples or for saying something in the media, sending his cronies out to threaten people and shit. It's just like, they were all fucking doing that shit. And Suge Knight was like the worst of them.
I think like the difference between Suge Knight and P. Diddy was like P. Diddy had the money to tell someone to go do something, whereas like Suge Knight just told someone to go do something, they fucking did it because they were terrified of him.
I think also,
whereas P. Diddy would just pay them to do it.
P. Diddy wanted to look like the nice guy. He didn't want the bad look. Like Suge Knight didn't give a fuck at all.
Yeah,
he didn't care
gangster.
He did not care at all. But P. Diddy always wanted to like stay in the background and be like have this nice guy facade almost. But yeah, I think in the end they were both very much the same person. They are very much the same person.
At least you know what you got with like Suge Knight. At least I think so. I don't know. Like that, he's in jail now because he ran over that dude in his fucking truck.
Forgot about that. That was a long time. That was a while ago too.
It wasn't that long ago though. I think that was like 2014, 2015.
That's like 10 years ago.
That's not that long ago.
That's kind of a long time ago. Not to say, I mean, he shouldn't be out of prison, but that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, the way I mean, okay, so we're over an hour in now. I mean, all the songs are great, and they all
talk about Kill You. We're not leaving until we talk about Kill You.
And
Kim.
And that's it. Kim is the one I really want to talk about.
Okay, we can brush over Kill You, and then talk about Kim. But Under the Influence too. What about Under the Influence?
That's my that's my 11B.
That was one of my favorite songs to turn the music down when I was like listening to it and saying, "You can suck my dick if you don't like my shit." Just like, dude, that's so bad. Like you just can't. I got kids in the house. I don't listen to Eminem when like the kids are in the house. It's like they got to be outside and then like, okay, now I'll put on Eminem.
Now you put on this really aggressive music, yeah.
It's aggressive. It's something. But yeah, okay. So we can run through Kill You real quick and then end it with Kim.
Okay, so Kill You, second track, or really the opening track, because
this is wild because this put Eminem like not just on the map, but like embedded him into culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you get like Republicans like talking about this, that's one thing. When you get like people debating lyrics in the Senate chambers, that's like we're talking a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
When the president of the United States knows your record, knows your songs, no matter if it's good or bad, you've already achieved something that most people will never even achieve in their lifetimes.
Yeah,
And that's crazy.
it is. I mean, and like you mentioned earlier, like comparing it to like, Two Life Crew or some shit like that. Like that's those are like nursery rhymes compared to what Kill You is
Yes.
and Kim is and shit like that. But yeah, it is crazy like that. I mean, they were doing it also with Two Life Crew back in the late '80s, early '90s. But watching them say some of these words or some of the things that Eminem was saying in this song is fucking insane. It's fucking
Here's
wild.
here's how kind of I see this. I see like when you see, and this is just off the cuff. But this is the way it looks when you see like black guys rapping about this. It's easy just to fucking arrest him, lock him up. When you see a white guy rapping the same thing but more aggressive, we kind of see like why are they debating this? Right? They're actually like playing this in the Senate chambers. So when you see a white guy rapping this, and you see our politicians like, oh, how do we handle this one, Bill? Oh, I don't know, Dick. How do we do this? We can't just arrest him. Oh, fuck. What do we do? Let's make more laws. What laws can we fucking stretch to our own accords to circumvent like all the other laws and make this guy stop doing this?
Yeah.
You can't do it. And therein lies the power of like Eminem. And I don't think he did it intentionally. I don't think this is a big public statement, because I think he's just fucking mad at everybody. I think Eminem just hated everyone at this time.
I think he did, yeah. And like you going back to it too, I think what you said, he didn't like the fame. I think the fame was, I mean, a poor kid from fucking Detroit instantly being catapulted into this type of fame is, I can't imagine how overwhelmed somebody could be. Like, that's crazy.
Can't deal with it. What do you do?
And when you constantly have people criticizing you and, looking to arrest you or, cause harm to you, like this is kind of a natural reaction. Like not what he's talking about or saying, but the anger, the emotion it makes sense. It makes sense. It's a proper reaction to how he was being treated in the media. So, but yeah, no, the song is crazy. Talking about essentially killing Kim. But
God, that's just those opening lines. They said I can't rap about being broke no more. They said can't rap about coke no more. All those little wow, all those little goofy things that he puts in there to like help diffuse the aggressive lyrics.
Yeah.
But all they really do is just make me more angry, right? They just add a little bit more fuel to the fire.
Yeah,
love it. It's good. All right, let's get into Kim.
So Kim, this is a lower beat just because it's just like I don't like listening to it because it's a lot. It's violent. It's one of the most violent songs I've ever heard.
I get it. It serves a purpose, right? Like relationships in general, they are stressful. Like having proper outlets to release negative emotion is difficult, because inevitably it's just going to turn into a fight in relationships, whether it be like intimate or just friendships or whatever it is. It's like they're tough. Relationships take work.
Yeah.
And so like while I do see this as a pretty aggressive like approach, it is a way for Eminem to express his frustration artistically. And I mean that's me like being as nice as I possibly can, because really it's like, dude, come on, my guy, what are you doing here?
I mean, so really the story is it starts out as domestic, like, he's drunk, he's beating the shit out of Kim, his girlfriend at the time, wife or whatever. And then it just progressively gets worse. He makes her go to the car, drives her out to the middle of the woods, and then just fucking kills her. Really. I mean, just beats her more and kills her and like taunts her. And I mean, the lyrics, I mean, the story, I mean, he's telling a story. Like this is a story. Yes. Like the story is almost, I don't want to say good, but it's almost,
it's a good story.
It's a good story.
But like, why do we, again, harkening back to like the Tarantino stuff, like why do we like violence in movies so much? Why do we like love fucking violent video games? Like Friday the 13th franchise is such a revered franchise. We love this stuff. But then when he like does it just a little bit too close to home, and it's not like you have a fight with your significant other and you think these things, but like, yeah, you're pissed off. Like, why don't you shut the fuck up? Like sometimes you just want to say things that you shouldn't say because you're a normal person, and normal people don't say these kind of things. But he's not a normal person, right? Dave Grohl's not a normal person. These are not normal people.
Yeah.
They are artistic. They are fucking weird. They are not all there. They are not normal people. So this is the way he expresses himself. So I get it. I understand it. I would never do it. I don't think any half of these things unless I'm watching something.
Yeah.
Then I got to watch a fucking cartoon afterwards because I get nightmares. But this guy's a little fucked up in the head.
Yeah, he is. And also the fact that, you know, this is like a back and forth almost. It's like it's like it's playing out like a movie, you know what I mean? Like the audio to a movie, because it's him yelling at her and then she responds like, "Oh no, please. Oh baby, no, please. I love you." And then he goes on and talks about like how he's going to fucking kill her, or he's going to slit her throat or some shit like that. God, it's just, and then that big heavy beat too, you know. A lot of people say like they sampled When the Levee Breaks from Led Zeppelin, which I can hear. You could definitely hear it, but apparently the producer said no, we didn't sample it, but it sounds very, very similar. But yeah, just the way the song, once again, it builds like Stan does. Like the storytelling is excellent. Regardless of the content, the storytelling is fantastic. It's excellent. And just how pissed off he is the entire fucking time. And I guess when he recorded this song, he did it all in one take. So this is like there was no re-edits or anything like that. It was all done in one take. And because Dre didn't produce this one, but I guess the story goes is that when Dre heard it for the first time, he's like, "This is some psycho shit. Like, I would be afraid if I were her. Like, I would be afraid to be around Eminem if I was Kim, because the song is so out of control. It's so psycho." And it's true though. It's fucking. This song is. It's a fucked up, disturbing song.
When people are like poor and they're already fighting for money, they're fighting for food, they're fighting for everything. You add like relationship troubles in there, like that's just another added tier of something to fight about, right? And I just, again, I get it. I understand where he's coming from. I get like the outlet that he's using here, because again, like we all fight, we all get angry, we all get crazy, but like this is something else. This is something else.
So this is
I enjoy listening to
shit.
it. I don't skip this one because it's like, I get it. Like I see where you're coming from, right? I can put myself in your shoes. I have empathy for you, but you're not like me. We're not the same. We're not cut from the same cloth here.
Yeah. Also, the way it's recorded too, with that big heavy beat, it meshes so well with the vocals too, because he was like screaming into the vocals. Nothing was like equalized, right? So you get the blown out distortion, which adds to that big heavy Led Zeppelin or John Bonham beat, which is not John Bonham, but the John Bonham beat, and it's just a really, really well crafted song. It's a fantastic song,
but again, just like Stan, it's fucking long, but it doesn't feel like it's long
because the storytelling is so good. You can't deny how great the storytelling is.
And this is the difference between like horrorcore. Like horrorcore, like when it comes to ICP, where they like actually talk about like dismembering people and like necrophilia, and like it's all goofy and dumb. Even though I don't know if they are presenting it in the same way that Eminem is presenting it, but it's just like ICP is silly. I don't like him, don't care. But like Eminem is a master at his craft, and if he's going to do something, he's going to do it the best that anyone's ever fucking done it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is better. This song, Kim, like a bottom tier song on this record is still better horrorcore than anything ICP has ever put out.
Absolutely. And there's even one song. What is it? I think it's the Marshall Mathers song. Like
Can If.
Oh, the skit. Yeah, where it's just like them sucking another guy off. It's fucking so.
But it's ICP doing it, and he specifically tells. Oh, dude, that one. That was one of the ones that I was like, I should turn this off. But like, God, this is so disrespectful. This is so fucking disrespectful.
One of the most disrespectful things. Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's one of the most disrespectful songs I've ever heard.
Yeah. And then
it all stems from, did you read the story? It all stems from fucking Eminem, like had flyers from like one of his first shows. And he put like ICP will show up and then parentheses maybe. And he accidentally gave it to one of the guys in ICP. And like, what the fuck is this? Because they already had records out prior to this.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's why I put maybe, because like, maybe you'll show up, maybe you won't. That's a joke, dude.
Yeah.
And ICP took it up the butt, and we're all fucking serious about like, oh, fuck this guy, and released a diss track. And then Eminem became Eminem, and that was it. The thing eclipsed their fucking career instantaneously.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And even when it comes to like the more the straightforward like horrorcore stuff, Like, what was it? Amityville on this record is way better than
Yeah.
any
Oh,
ICP
dude,
I've
the
heard.
rhyming in Amityville is so
Yeah.
cool. Just the way he rhymes throughout Amityville. Those two things, Amity and then Ville. Amazing.
Yeah, it's hands down. It's fucking great. But I mean, we're only comparing it to ICP. I'm not big on the genre, so I don't know much
I mean, there's
about
other
it.
horror, like 3-6 Mafia.
Yeah,
Is
they're
really
yeah,
like great horrorcore stuff. So.
which is something like last week we talked about. I really enjoyed that 3-6 Mafia record. That was a good record. Had no idea.
I brought it to the pod, but it was kind of like it wasn't during hip hop season, but Gravediggers. That was I don't know who else was in there besides RZA, but there were like 3 other guys in Gravediggers, but that was like mid-90s horrorcore. Very, if you like 3-6 Mafia, and I know you like Wu-Tang, revisit Gravediggers.
Okay.
I'll remind you this week. Revisit that one. That's horrorcore. I think like at its best. It's fucking amazing.
Okay. You have it on vinyl, right? I think I remember you.
Yeah.
All right, so let's wrap it up. Let's give our final thoughts. Rate the record based off of our world famous 3-point rating season. We are, thank God.
Wow, we did it.
So yeah, so what are your final thoughts? Our rating system works. It's a 3-point rating system where 3 is a perfect album, 2 is a good album you're going to continue to listen to. 1 is a bad album, give it a shot, and 0 is the worst thing you've ever heard. So what do you got, Jeff? Go.
I think it's a perfect record. I think this is one of those records that does something for music. I didn't say hip hop. Does something for music that we just don't. You don't see all that often. There's almost like decade defining records throughout all genres, and this is one of those. This is one of those things that really brought various people together. That brought not just like hip hoppers and rockers, but also brought like fucking poets and politicians and anybody who just had a fucking ear on their head know these songs and was like, oh wow, this is fucking interesting. Let me listen again. Any artist wanted to hear this and do a little bit more, because I kind of winked the first time, so I might as well double down on it. So yeah, I do think this is a perfect record. I think Eminem is one of the greatest rappers of all time. Even though a lot of people don't put him in the top 5. I think everybody puts him in the top 10, but a lot of people don't put him in the top 5. And I think that's like, you always accuse me of being like, oh, you just like the popular stuff. I think people don't put him in the top 5 because of that reason, because he's Eminem.
Massive.
He's a fucking white rapper from Detroit. And I think that's why he's on the top 5 a lot. But he's top 5 rapper. Man, you can make an argument for top 3. I don't think
I would say top 5. I don't know about top 3. I don't know. Man,
you can make an argument for top 3. I think he's top 5 for sure, though. But this is beyond impactful. This is more impactful than Illmatic. This is not as impactful as It Takes a Nation, but this is impactful.
All right.
This is.
All right. Yeah, my final thoughts. I agree with you. This is one of the most This is one of the biggest, most influential hip hop records of all time. Up there with your Public Enemies, with your Illmatics, with your Kanye Wests. I don't know what you're saying, with your Run DMCs, with your Chronics.
Chronics.
So it's definitely one of the most influential. I think this is a fantastic record. I think it's a perfect record. I really do. Objectively, subjectively, I think this is a perfect record. I don't go back to it that often because it's a lot. The album's like an hour 20, and there's just a lot of just content here. There's just a lot to absorb here, especially when you get to the heavy hitters like Kim, Kill You, Stand. I mean, those are all heavy hitter fucking songs.
Some criminal.
But
put a slut to me.
I mean, we touched upon so much of this. This is a very, very important record, and yes, Eminem is top three rappers of all time, easily.
You think he's top 3?
I think he's top 3. Yeah. I don't know who'd be above him, but I mean he's so influential and he's so good. Objectively, he's a fantastic rapper. His rhyming, his wordplay, lyrics,
I think
everything.
For you, it would be Eminem, and then you love Vanilla Ice. It would be Vanilla Ice.
Oh, it would be Vanilla Ice.
Obviously, Fred Durst would be number 1.
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, duh, stupid. So yeah, I give it a perfect 3 out of 3. Great album. Hip hop season is over, because I highly doubt we're doing 2010s. Because we were talking about doing Mac Miller, right?
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, we're gonna do Mac Miller.
Miller's. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to do that. Well,
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good with hip hop season. Maybe we'll do it sometime in the future, but I'm burnt out on hip hop.
A lot of fucking. I everything we put on the notes. I listened to every single one of those records.
That was a lot of shit. It was a lot of shit.
I'm just glad you like Black Sheep. That's what I'm glad for.
The Black Sheep record was solid. It was really. Oh, you know what we forgot to mention about this Eminem record, Marshall Mathers, is that it sold over 1 million. He was the first artist to sell over 1 million copies in its first week. Did it just before Limp Bizkit? Did it just before Limp Bizkit did it? Like a year later, maybe not even a year later. It was a year later. So
which is easy for a band like Limp Bizkit, right? Like that's easy for a band like Limp Bizkit. Absolutely, because it's cross genres, but it's all in the realm of pop. It's difficult for Eminem to do it.
Okay. But yeah, thank you all for listening. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars, tell your friends, share all the posts. And that's it. That's all.
Wow.